We are live from the 2013 Essence Festival in my home city of New Orleans. Essence, the premier magazine for African American women, has hosted this event for nearly 20 years. Essence magazine is one of the few national publications that is targeted primarily to black women. So while a diverse array of black women are featured in the pages of Essence, too often in most mainstream media, the representation of our lives look like stereotypes rather than complicated and full human beings. In response, we've looked to the success of black women as producers and executives as a step forward for maybe more accurate representations of black women on TV. Take Shonda Rhimes, who has brought us the complicated characters of Olivia Pope and Miranda Bailey. And then there's Tracy Edmonds, Mara Brock Akil, and Ava DuVernay. The success of these women has shown that there's a market for television targeted to black women, and TV executives have taken notice. And as a result, we do have more shows, in fact, targeted to us. Some of them look like this.
Don't put your respectful. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Nah. Oh no! Wait! Before you move right, you're gonna fight right now. What are you doing, guys? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hold on. Tell me you said that.
Like I said before.
No, I want you to tell. Did you say it or did you not?
Like I said before. I don't remember. Wait,
don't do anything. Don't let her.
Come on.
I'm still here, and I'm still fabulous.
Well, you better preach now.
Right? Fabulous. Going with the wind, fabulous. Okay?
TV executives produce, televise, and air what there is a market for. And with the success of reality shows like Real Housewives of Atlanta and Basketball Wives and others, there are obviously many of us who enjoy watching. Rather than debating if representations of black women on shows like Real Housewives are positive or negative, a better question is, why are so many people tuning in to see them? And is there a market for anything different than what we have just tapped? With me at the table, Grio.com managing editor Joy Reid, former Miss USA and star of Bravo's Real Housewives of Atlanta, Miss Gone with the Wind, a fabulous herself, Kenya Moore, Issa Rae of the award-winning web series and Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, and Tanya Lee Lewis, founder and editor of HealthyYouNow.com. All right, Kenya, you take all kinds of criticism, and so I appreciate you being here to sit at the Nerdland table, in part because I despise like positive versus negative. I'm more interested in complicated. So tell me the complicated story. Tell me the complicated story of the value of what we see and why so many people tune in to watch, for example, Real Housewives and Basketball Wives.
Well, I think with our show, we are the #1 show on the Bravo network, and that's for a reason. Is because when people, black, white, Asian, watch our show, when women watch our show, they identify with the women that they're seeing. Their mothers, their business women, they're married in relationships or not, and you show them in everyday circumstances dealing with their problems and trying to navigate their lives, and that's what women identify with. It's not necessarily the negative aspect, although we do see some of that, but it's a small portion of the show. What you get involved in are these people's lives, and so when you're watching, oh, I understand that she's having an issue with her son that was just in jail for a misdemeanor or something, or another woman might be watching and says, I'm having issues with my husband, and how do I resolve that? So that's what they're tuning in for, is to show what everyday life looks like.
So let me push back a little bit and suggest that maybe part of what goes on is that actually people don't identify, and they would prefer to say, man, whatever problems I have, they are not those problems, and whatever challenges I have in dealing with them, at least I'm not dealing with them like that. Part of my concern is that to the extent that you and other people are actual real human beings, you're not actresses portraying a part, right? You're not Olivia Pope, you're an actual person.
Right.
But that it becomes easy to denigrate you in these moments in ways that then flop over into real life, so that then when we see Rachel Jeantel sitting on a jury stand, it becomes less about that human experience of that black woman, and she's just one of those people like the ones I see on reality TV. Am I completely off base on that?
No, you're not completely off, but people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, and no one's life is perfect.
No, ma'am.
I don't see Jesus walking around here. So we all have those moments where we yell at our child and we lose lose control and we feel like the world is ending, but those moments aren't captured on television. And I think that's the difference, is our show is a reality show, and you open yourself up to those vulnerable aspects of your life, and that is what it is. That's what you're watching. So there's no one walking this earth that can say, oh, I'm beneath that. You know, Michelle Obama is a fan of our show, and I think the world of her. So I think that people identify with what they're seeing, and it is what it is, and it's real, and sometimes it's ugly, and sometimes it's really beautiful.
Yeah. Joanne Reed, you have a little expression over there, and I wanted to give you a chance to jump in.
Well, no, I mean, I think that there has to be a balance.
Yep.
And I think because you have an Olivia Pope, because we do have, I mean, there was a time, I think, when there was a big vacuum between The Cosby Show and A Different World, when we saw all these great affirmative portrayals of ourselves, and then this sort of long drought where there really wasn't much. And now you do see a glut of reality television that I think does present a one view of black women. That's one way to look at us. But it's still difficult to see African American women as actresses getting lead roles in serious dramas. There's not enough of a variety. And I think as long as there's balance, there's room for everything. You know, I mean, I watch my Braxtons. I watch it. You know what I mean? It's one of my shows I like. You know, and you have to have a little bit of fun in TV too. We can't be serious all the time. So I think there's room for both. But I do worry a little bit that the image of black women is becoming one-dimensional in terms of the way the rest of the world sort of looks at us, that we're only seen as reality TV. And we're not given the opportunity for a Kenya Moore to be cast in another drama. But in some ways, you're seeing it creeping. Look, Nene Leakes is now a bona fide actress. She's managed to make a lot out of her experience. So I think that there's an opportunity to grow from it. And I think as long as there's balance, it's okay.
Tanya, let me ask you the role model question and the question of our adolescent girls. I just had you sign Parker's book, and Parker's my daughter. She's 11 and a half. And I think to myself, on the one hand, I'm always a little uncomfortable when people say you need a role model who looks like you. I feel like if a human can do it, I can do it, whether she's a black woman or not. But on the other hand, I also, like, if my 11-year-old were watching that, I would feel a sense of angst about what it might be teaching her about how to manage the conflicts and crises that we have in our lives.
Well, I think the issue is, as Joanna said, I don't think we have enough representations of who we are out there, especially for young people. So when you're talking about, you know, the Real Housewives being the example for your daughter, she needs to see images of herself as the lead girl in the Hunger Games, as the lead girl in other kinds of television and media, so that it sort of counterbalances it. Look, we're talking about reality TV.
Right. It's fun. It's light.
Absolutely. Right. And look, black women may denigrate themselves sometimes in reality TV, but so do white women.
Sure.
You know, so
but the stakes aren't as high for them, right? I mean,
exactly.
It's part of my discomfort with saying, oh, you as black woman must be more upright because the stakes are higher. But the stakes are higher.
Well, the stakes are higher, and also they have more representation.
Yes.
And there, to me, is where the issue is. If we have more diverse representation, then it doesn't become that the Real Housewives represents all black women.
And Latino women are having this issue as well. There are some people that spoke out against the new show. I think it's Devious Maids, which features Latina cast that are beautiful, talented women that are being portrayed as maids. Well, it's not necessarily negative, but some people see it as such because they don't have a vast variety of shows that shows them being glamorous and beautiful and successful and lawyers and doctors and such. So I do agree with what you're saying. We need a full representation of who we are, not just in one particular area.
And when we come back, I want to talk to you, Issa, because I am neither glamorous nor do I fight with models. I am an awkward black girl, right? I'm a nerd. I embrace it. People see me on television with makeup, so they think I'm not, but I am simply socially inept. And so when we come back, I want to talk about that also as a way of presenting who African American women are. Stay right there. When we come back, more from the Essence Festival in New Orleans.